How's it going, YouTube? It's me, Ricky. I recently posted a video. It got messed up. did a long video, and I guess YouTube didn't allow it. So I'm gonna get right into my deck profile again. I run one Tuning Magician. Basically, this card is good if you run Magician Pendulums. Say if you have Dragon Pit, Dragon Pulse, you could after you synchro a monster with this, it's in your graveyard. You can special summon it back, but it has to be banished after at least after it's special summoned that way. Then next, I have Performapal Anai's Unicorn. Basically, I just use this card as a level 8 Performapal monster, because I usually get this off of Monkey Board's effect, and it's honestly a pretty good effect. Honestly, if I have a Odd Eyes and then I have a Skrulkrobat, then if I attack with Odd Eyes, then I can make Skrulkrobats attack the same. Level 3s. Noble Knight, it's a good level 3 tuner, especially with the effect on Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, just reduces level by 3, and then Pendulum Summon for 7, basically Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. But any other reason, this card I really only want to run because it's really clogging and you're gonna get tired of seeing this card. Next is Timebreaker. It is a good card. I do have some questioning on the rulings of this card, because it says when this card is, if it's the only pendulum card summoned this turn, then it gains. Then you can make double its attack to 28. But I don't know if that's the end phase, for the rest of this duel, even though it's sent to the graveyard. I don't know. And then basically, it's a good kind of bottomless. Just banish this and one of your opponent's monster till your next standby, and then you can attack directly that turn, or it's just to help get a monster off the field if you need be. I run 2 Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. This card, it's a really good level 4 pendulum, and you can destroy one of your pendulum zones and then get a card from it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not. You can destroy any pendulum zone, and then you can't get a card from its effect, but you can destroy any pendulum zone. I was reading it from the light. I'm sorry. Yeah, and then you can destroy any pendulum zone. Basically, if your opponent's pendulum monsters are ticking you off, then you activate this guy, and then you're good to go. Next, I run 1 Vector Pendulum, the Draco Overlord. This card is a really good card. I want to run that too, but I only have 1 of them. It says negate all effects of your opponent's pendulums. That is really good if you're going against somebody who uses really good pendulums. This card is beautiful, and I love it so much. It's a normal, and it's a zone 3, so I really love that it's high, and it's not too high, it's not too low, and that's a really good. It's just very beautiful. And I run the limited Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. This card is a really good level 4 tuner, but the only downside is you can only Xyz fusion synchro with another Draco, so you can't do it, with you summon this and then you summon Wisdom Mine. You can't do that. You see what I'm saying? So but it's a good level 5, scale 5, and it's a good level 4, and attack is pretty good also. Level 4. Oh, I'm sorry, we're already on level 4s. Next, Dragon Pulse Magician. Dragon Pulse is always good to have. I only run him at 1 because he can get cloggy. You need a card and you don't want to draw this off the bat. Keep drawing him. You really don't, because it's going to get cloggy. You don't need him. You need to summon out a monster in the field, and you only have 1800. And, that's not really good. So, but his pendulum effect is basically just discard 1 pendulum monster, target 1 monster in the field, destroy it. So it's really good if your opponent has like a monster that's really hard to get through. Next is Wisdom Mine Magician. Wisdom Mine, unfortunately and sadly, got hit with a limited list just because he's a good search card. Honestly, basically, you just set him in a scale, destroy. And basically, say if I had Dragon Pit, so I can just basically pop him and replace it for, just for example, him. And no, I'm sorry, it has to be magician. So just basically any magician. Dragon Pit would be the most, but if you have any other good magician monster that you want to put with Dragon Pulse or with Wisdomize Effect, but he's just a really good search card besides all that. Next is Performance Power Skarkabat Joker. It's a really fortunately he got hit with the limited list too, and I really want to like argue over this card getting limited because he can only gain his effect when it's normal summon. Add one excuse me. Just add one Performal, Magician, or Odd-Eyes monster from your deck into your hand, and that's only when it's normal summon. So worst case scenario, you need to summon out a monster and you special summon him out. You can't gain his effect twice. So you normal, and then he's destroyed, and then you special summon him out. He can't gain his effect, but I really wish they would have either like semi-limited or not limited him out, because he just gains his fate off of normal summoning, not even special. Next is another limited card that I wish would never got limited, is Monkey Board. Monkey Board is a good searcher. Basically, I use Monkey Board, so if you activate him, then you can get to add a Performer Power. You just get to add one level 4 or lower Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, and I search him out, and with Performer Power Odd-Eyes Unicorn, activate that, because he can only stay one Pendulum Zone 1 if you have a Perform Power in your other Pendulum Zone. So that's the only downside to that card, so I'd be careful running that card. Next, Oath Dragon Magician. I run Oath Dragon at 3 just because he is a good Monster Reborn type card, but basically what Oath Dragon Magician is, that if he's summoned out as a monster, basically you can add a Magician, Odd-Eyes, or just Magician or Odd-Eyes monster from your graveyard to your hand, and then if he's activated in the zones, then you can get a Magician or Odd-Eyes from your extra deck. But except him, you cannot add him from your graveyard or extra deck. Just beware of that, and I'd be careful running 3 of him, because he can get cloggy at times. You need a monster summoned out of the field, you draw him, I've been there, done that, so I'd be careful running him at 2. I'd rather him get either one of him to hand with Pendulum Call as soon as possible, because you do not want 3 of him in your deck. And like you haven't played him, you're in the middle of the duel and you haven't played him yet, you do not want 3 in your deck. It's going to get cloggy and you're going to get ticked off. Next is my avatar, Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon. I love this card. This is absolutely my favorite card. I love his art. Basically, this is a good search card, but it has its downsides. You can only destroy and search during the end phase, but it's a good card if he's activated. And honestly, you don't even have to activate his effect at the end phase to destroy. If you just want to activate him and not take any damage, basically you can reduce any damage with the Pendulum monster to 0 if you do activate him, and then during the end phase you can destroy him from your Pendulum Zone, and then get a monster with 1500 or less attack and add it to your hand. And his monster effect is basically just like Odd-Eyes Dragon's effect. So excuse me, I have a little bit of cold. Next, I run 2 Dragon Pit. Dragon Pit is also a good scale 8. His effect is basically opposites of Dragon Pulse. Is you can just discard a card. Discard a Magician. A Pendulum monster. Excuse me. And then just destroy a spell trap card on the field. So if your opponent has a continuous spell or trap that's really bugging you, and it's really and that shuts you down, you activate him. You discard a Pendulum monster. Destroy that. You're good to go. Next, I run Jiaxing. I think that's Jiaxing. I don't know. And this card is really good with my Odd-Eyes Rebellion. I will do I will do another extra deck profile because I have to make these separate since I can't have a long video. It seems right here I'm only limited to 14 minutes, so that's why I'm trying to go pretty fast. Jiaseng, basically you can make an Xyz monster into a level, and it's really good if you're playing Nada's Rebellion. That's the only reason why I have him at 1, because he can get cloggy, and you don't want too many of them in your deck. Now I'm going on to spells and traps. I run a Drowning Magician. I would run 3, but I don't have. Basically, monster declares attack, send all those back to the extra deck. Send all of them back to the deck, so if you know your opponent has extra deck monsters, they go back to extra deck. Monsters just go back to deck. This card is a really good card. It's really hard to find. Next is Quaking. Not too hard to find as Drowning. It's also it's really good. Basically, when your opponent monster declares an attack, just negate and then switch them all to face down, and they cannot switch face back up. It's really going to take your opponent off. It's really fun. And I just run a regular Mirror Force. Nothing special about it, but Mirror Force is always a good card to have in your deck. Next, I run Trap Stun. If your opponent has some traps that are really bugging you, and you know they're going to activate, either let's see here, Drowning or even any other Mirror Forces, you activate Trap Stun. Negate, destroy, and it's really good. Next, I run a Torrential. Torrential is really good if you have no monster in your field and your opponent is just keep summoning out monsters. Activate this, destroy all the monsters. It may give you a chance. So, but I'd be careful activating this card. You don't want to activate it at the wrong time. Just even though you have some monsters on the field, and you need them, I wouldn't just destroy them, even though your opponent has the better field. So watch playing this card. Next, I run a Bottomless Trap Hole. Bottomless is always a good card to have. Your opponent's monster summons out a monster that's going to be hard to get rid of. Basically, say they have 5,000 attack, you activate this, they're banished. This card is really good. Summoning out, get rid of extra deck monsters and main deck monsters that that's going to really bug you off. This card is also a really good stable card to have. The next is Compulse. I love this card. Your opponent summons out this big, strong Xyz or even main deck monster, and then send it back to hand. You have to redo all that over again. So I love that. Next is spells. I run 3 Pendulum Calls. This card is basically just discard a card, get 2 Magician Pendulum monsters from your hand, and then during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot destroy your Pendulum zones by card effects, and then but you can activate the Magician's effects that you got from this card that turn. So be careful activating this card. Just make sure you know what this card does, and make sure that you have a strategy running this card at 3. This card can get clogged. Your last draw, you need a really good card. You draw this, you have no card to discard. You're screwed. So I'd be careful with playing this card and having it at 3. Next, I run 2 Summoner's Art. Basically, I run Summoner's Art to get out Dragon Pit, and that's basically the only reason I use it. And it's a really good Rhoda for level 5 or higher normal monsters. I run 2 Sky Irises with a Terraforming. The reason why I don't run 3, because honestly, you want to get as many cards out from your deck as possible, because you don't want to keep your deck stacked. So so just careful. I'm running out of time, guys. Upstart, really good draw power.